All right. So first, a carbohydrate. Oh, went too far. A carbohydrate is one of three macronutrients. Okay, just like we mentioned a macronutrient last time we were together, a macronutrient is an essential nutrient for the body that to run efficiently. So those macronutrients include, again, proteins, healthy or proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Okay, those are your three macronutrients that you need in order for your body to run efficiently. Everything that we consume contains each of those macronutrients, or at least one of the three. Okay. So, in addition to that, the function of carbohydrates is one of the functions, I should say, the primary function is to provide energy to the body. And that's why we consume carbohydrates. Now, this is how I break it down. You have your simple carbohydrates, and then you have your complex carbohydrates. Your simple carbohydrates, those are your quick digesting foods or your quick digesting carbohydrates that are found typically in like your sugars. And then you have your complex carbohydrates, slower digesting foods. Now, the reason why you may see this picture here with the person running is I like to think of carbohydrates as if it were a race, right? Depending on the type of carbohydrate, that depends on the type of race that you're running. If I were to run a 100-meter sprint like I'm Usain Bolt or Allison Felix or any of these other amazing track athletes that are out here, um, then you would probably find yourself in the category of a simple carbohydrate, right? Now, this isn't to say that you should have these simple carbohydrates if you're that type of athlete. This is just an example. And the reason why I say that is a simple carbohydrate is going to be, like I mentioned, quick digesting. That means you're going to have a quick jolt. You're going to have that sprint. That's what a 100-meter is. It's a full-on sprint. Okay. 40-yard sprint, a 40-yard dash, a 100-meter sprint, all these different events that are sprint related when it comes to track and field, that would be your relation to or your comparison to a simple carbohydrate. Your complex carbohydrates, those are your slower digesting foods. That's where you're going to go for a long time. So if I'm running a mile, for instance, if I am running a marathon, for instance, or if I'm running an ultra marathon or something in between, if I'm playing a soccer game or a basketball game, those are where complex carbohydrates are going to be beneficial because they are slower digesting and it's going to seep in the energy that you need and the fiber and the nutrients that you need in order to sustain, in order to have the energy to be prolonged throughout the period of time. So me growing up as an athlete, for like soccer, I played soccer growing up and I played basketball growing up as well. I would always eat, bananas before a game, for instance, or, something that would, I can't say always, because, sometimes we treat ourselves in eating candy as a kid, but uh, I remember the parents would pass out fruit. For instance, they would give us oranges and they would give us bananas. And those were complex carbohydrates to help us in getting ready for our next game. All right, here we go. So this is how you compare your simple and your complex. Your simple carbohydrate, that's the picture of the donut there. Whereas you have your apple, again, that is going to be your complex carbohydrate. It's going to help in sustaining you throughout a long duration of the day. So again, back to our simple carbs. A simple carbs is going to talk about your sprints. Those are your sprints. That is going to be your quick sugar spikes. That means you're going to eat something, you're going to have a sugar spike, and then it's going to crash right after that. Okay. So those food types that are included within your simple carbohydrates are foods such as your white breads, your pastas, and your rice, white rice, for instance. You have your sugary snacks like donuts, muffins, cookies, and cakes, for instance. Candies are considered a simple carbohydrate. Then you also have, of course, your beverages. Now, a lot of people may not think about this, but sodas, sweet drinks, Powerades, and Gatorades, for instance, those contain carbohydrates. And take a look at that, and you'll see exactly how much carbohydrates they have. So, sodas, sweet drinks are also considered a carbohydrate that you also want to avoid. Now, your complex, like I mentioned, this is your marathon. This is your soccer game. This is your basketball game or your football game, for instance. This is that long lasting energy that you're going to have to help sustain you throughout the event, throughout your game, throughout your day, for instance. So, that is going to be a slow burn in the burning the sugars to help you in providing you the energy that you need to get throughout the day, rather than with your simple carbs, that is your quick spike, and then you have that crash. With your complex carbs, you have that long lasting energy that's going to help you in getting throughout the day. So, those foods include your fruits and vegetables. Those foods include your beans and lentils, for instance, and your whole grains and breads and rice. So, those are all different foods that are included in your category of complex carbohydrates. So here are the pros and here are the cons of carbohydrates in general, not just complex carbs, but carbohydrates in general. If we put it all in a whole thing in a basket, these are the pros and these are the cons. The pros, it gives you energy, right? That is something that we need. We definitely need energy to get throughout the day. Nobody wants to be moving around sluggishly, right? Number two, some carbohydrates are high in fiber, okay? So we want to be able to have those